L'ishtakeh b'Mitzrayim. It teaches you that what? That Yaakov Avinu did not come to settle in Mitzrayim. Ela lagur sham, right? A lease, he didn't buy. Shneimar vayomru el paro lagur ba'aretz banu ki en mir'eh lason. Right? So he says what? So he says that what he tells Paro, Yaakov tells Paro that we're coming to just whatever. We're coming to stay because we are. What is ki en mir'eh lason?
There's no
in Israel. In Egypt, there's no livestock in Egypt.
There's no place for the no. There's no
in Israel, there was no mere effort at son. They came to Egypt to bring mere effort at son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and it's son in Israel. Right. The famine.
Right.
The Egyptians were in high tech. They wouldn't do the labor.
Why you talk about high tech? My father has a very strong theory. Which, the more I think about it, makes so much sense. The daughter of Noah, before the Mabul, were very technologically advanced. Mm-hmm. So I told him, I go, why? What do you think? He goes, each person lived 800-900 years. They did not stay in caves forever. Just like we advanced, they advanced. We lived 70, 80 years. Right, and by the way, previous generations were like 60, 70, right? The life expectancy really jumped this generation. Because thank God, all the advancements and whatever. But he goes, imagine living 800 years, what you can do. I go, Dad, what are you talking about? You talking like satellites? Like what are you doing? He goes, everything. He goes, everything. But the more I think about it, it's scary. I told Dad, what do you mean? Rashi calls him, why they call him Noah? Because he created the plow. Right? Because but my father's like, yeah, but you don't know what that means. It could be the hoverboard plow. Who knows what that is? But if you really let it simmer in your mind, it makes a whole lot of sense. You can't think that everybody was stupid before us and we're the only smart ones. That doesn't make sense. It's not real. It's not fair.
You have to build on what was before. There was nothing before. So to create the plow, that's like creating something.
Yeah, but if each guy lived 800 years.
For sure. But even it says in the text of Breshit, like this one created this one created that. Like one guy did the musical instruments and another guy did.
Yeah, we also don't know when in their life did they do it.
That's true.
It could have been early on in their lives.
That's true.
Even if it's 100, even if it's at 100, and you realize that you have the ability to change things, it's not. It's just an amazing concept. And the more I think about it, it's crazy. Just because it's technologically advanced, it makes sense because when you're, especially now this generation. I talk to a lot of teenage and young adults. Okay, the big thing of the generation is they want proof. They want proof. Torah. They want proof. Everything's about proof. I said, how can you prove something is faith? Faith is faith. Mm-hmm. So one guy told me. He goes. I can't. What does he say? He says, I look at this article, now this professor, this guy, that guy. I go, how long do you spend on this? A month, 6 months, a year and a half? Like, I'm sure you gave it significant thought to be contemplating moving things along and switching sides. I mean, It's not an overnight decision. It's not something you think about Saturday night. So he goes, okay, yeah, what's your point? He tells me. I go, why don't you take 7 days, and prove to yourself that God is Amen? Why don't you take 7 days, and prove to yourself that God's Amen? You did it. You listen to the other side. Now listen to your own side. Prove it to yourself. Because if you want to be honest, if you don't have an agenda, you're not angry at Hashem. If all that's fine, and you want to know the Amen, then why don't you take 7 days and figure it out and prove to yourself again and again and again. I told him the first 2 days are going to be hard. The first 2 days, maybe 3 days will be hard, but after that, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, you're going to be walking around with a smile on your face. So he really liked that idea because I was striking out. Mm-hmm. He's asking me tough questions, and I said there's nothing wrong with asking questions, but it's still, you have to have halakha l'maaseh. You cannot go away from what you're used to. You have to maintain what you are. You are Yehud. Okay? Why? Because my father told me. Why? Because his father told him. Why? Because his father told him. Why? Because his father told him. When? Till Moshe Rabbeinu. And the majority of the world still agrees that we receive the Torah. The other people, what do they hold? They hold that God changed his mind. That he got mad at us, it changed. Very nice, no problem. Say he got mad at us, say he changed his mind, no problem. Then why did he keep the Torah with us? Why would he keep his prized possession I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've seen some messy divorces out there. God forbid. Okay, you fight for every last dollar. You're gonna tell me that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is gonna let us keep the house? No way. He's taking it with him. So just by logic, you could know that Hashem never left us.
Fair.
You understand?
Hazak.
Just by logic. But if you have an agenda and you're not looking for logic and you're not looking for the right way, then I can walk on water, won't make no difference. And that's the difference. And that's what this you have to explain to them. Do you want to know the real answer, or do you want to just go through this phase? You got to decide before I continue talking. And that's what I told them. You got to decide, because some of the questions, but you want to cry. Some of the questions you'll break down and cry. You want to crawl in a hole and put the grave over you. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Real questions.
Real questions, raw. Raw questions. That's what they are. You didn't like my papas?
No, I came earlier so that I could get more sleep tonight. Because
So you get more
Go to
time.
Minyan tomorrow, right?
I'll put on tefillin. I'll try to.
No,
go
don't dumb it
I remember
down.
you told me instead davening with kavana at home in tefillin is it's better to go daven with a minyan without kavana.
I never said the word anything about kavanah. Never mentioned kavanah.
You said it.
I said that Rambam says that if you want the answers prayed, you best go to shul. Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. Because it says in the Zohar, I learned it in Vayishlach, okay, by Yaakov and Esav, okay? The Vatzileni na miyad achim miyad Esav. The Zohar HaGadol says something crazy. Says that why is it so amazing that the whole people come together and they whatever? Because when they go together,
Colors.
no colors. Because when you go together and all the praise go up to Hashem, everyone's asking for something else. For the Hamim, for Parnasa, for Shalom Bayit, for children, all these different, 1,000,001 different questions. When all these comes, his heart, Kivyachol, he doesn't have a heart, but his heart gets filled with a Hamim, like, oh my God, my children need all these things. He just, okay, yes, like he answers much quicker. But when you're Yahid, you're coming by yourself, it's not the same. Moishi, okay, you got that?
Yeah. Also, I have a question about the thing.
Go.
About the davening. What if you said everybody's asking for different things? Maybe if you daven with a minyan and everybody asks for the same thing, it's like you said. It's like one.
It's
thing.
true. That's what we do for Ta'anit.
You
In
said
Masechet
it's like
Ta'anit,
one
it
big
says that
cloud.
they would bring the Aron, bring the Teva outside of the street. Imagine Pitum HaKetoret, they brought out the thing, right? And everybody would come, right? The rabbis would come with ashes on their head, on their forehead. They'd be mourning. Why? Because we got there because of them. And the people see this and they cry. Why is it because of them? Because we didn't listen to them. So everybody's at fault. And then they all come together and they pray for rain. Yeah, so you're right. When you come together and pray for one thing, yes, 100%. It's stronger. Absolutely. But on a day-to-day, hopefully we don't have such heavy issues that we have to worry about. The Zohar says that everybody prays for their own thing, but they all cluster up to Hashem. It's an amazing thing. Clusters up to Borei Olam, and God says, "Oh my God!" Like it's like all these things are needed. Kivyachol again, right? God don't get angry. God don't forget. God don't have a finger, right? And what is right? And what's the whole inyan? So Hashem. So that's the whole inyan. Go to shul. Ha-Ḥayyim at 10 p.m. would shut the books of the Avrechim that are sitting and learning. Because shut your book now because you got to wake up from minyan.
Will I see you at Shabbos
Got it?
tomorrow?
Yes.
Why? If you come to Nitz, then you will.
See him, okay.
We might. If I'm
Next
lucky, I get to
is at 6:30.
Okay.
If you sleep late, 9 o'clock at Zera Shimshon.
Right, by the way.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Good boy. I'll see you later. Good seeing you.
What
All right. 9 o'clock.
Zera Shimshon, 9 o'clock.
Okay, so let's go. So Vayered Mitzrayim anus api adibur, right? Anus means what? You're anus. If you were forced, exactly, it was a good word. Anus api adibur, right? Vayago Sham, we lived there. Right? Melamed, the teachers that what the Yaakov Avinu when he came, he did not plan on settling in Mitzrayim just to live there. Why? Because I got to protect my inventory. My cattle, I have no food in Egypt, in Israel. I'm coming here now.
And they're willing to slum it, essentially.
Right. They're willing to slum it for a couple a little bit, right?
Gotta rough it sometimes. What do you want? You gotta rough it.
I think in Parshat Shemot we learned the Jewish about the Anus Al Pi Dibur, something about like some Lashon Hara or something. I don't remember exactly, but
Sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. So here's the question: Zera Shimshon Makshim, Lama lo evi re'aya me'akatuv al piska vayered Mitzrayima anus al pi hadibur? Why? If you look at the words, look, it says Vayerim Yisrael Anus Al Pi HaDibur Vayagar Sham, to teach you that Yaakov, right? Only Yaakov Avinu settled because it brings a second pasuk later. Vayomru El Paro Lagur Ba'aretz Banu Ki En Mireh Lason, because there's nothing for the cattle. We're just learning from Vayerim Yisrael.
Why do you need the second pasuk?
What do you need the second pasuk at all for? Use the first pasuk. למה לא הביא ראיה מהכתוב על פסקה וילד מצרים אנוס על פי דיבור כמו שעשה בשאר חלוקות ובשאר התיבות של הפסוק, just like he did with all the other separations.
Yeah, because every part of the pasuk they
break down the whole pasuk. They break down the whole pasuk.
He just says, okay, it's just a proof text.
Right. Why are you bringing outside help?
Right.
Okay, as they say. You talk to any engineer, they don't want to bring any outside help. An engineer, okay, a mechanic, engineer that works on buildings or equipment, okay, I have equipment,
Nothing else.
right? They don't like, it's a pride thing. Don't bring nobody into my place. I'll deal with it.
Our staff.
Yeah, but you only have 2 hands, and I have 75 different things I need done. I need something now. They don't want to hear it.
Engineering, if you ever want an engineer to do something,
Yeah, tell me the
say,
secret.
don't worry, I'll ask Bob.
Who's Bob?
The other
The
guy.
engineer?
The other
I'll
guy.
ask another guy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you have to realize physically you can only do so much.
Yeah.
But the engineers, they think it's us, so we'll just rip out this 10-ton machine and we'll just put in the other one and we'll do all the piping. Okay, but that's like a month of work, and you're just saying rip out, like I'm taking my summer clothes out and putting my winter clothes in. It takes 4 seconds. What are you trying to tell me? That's the mentality of the whatever, right? So what do you bring outside help? You learn from the Pasuk, Vayered Mitzrayma, right? We were forced, Al Pi HaDibur, from God. Why were we forced? Because we made that out. So just learn from Vayagar Sham. What do you bring in another Pasuk that tells you, Vayomru El Paro Lagur Be'aretz Ki Baru Ki Mireh Lason? Because what does that do with the son? Right? And there's so many other, just like we did with the other parts of the Pasuk, because the Haggadah goes through that Pasuk, Vayered Mitzrayma, and breaks it down one by one. So beautiful. If you want to say shelosh yesh re'aya me'apasuk im ken minayin lo, and if you want to say that there's no re'aya from this pasuk,
So then why bring it all?
why bring the pasuk at all? The second pasuk.
Yeah.
So the first question is why do I bother? Why should I bother? And the second meaning I already have the first pasuk. So why do I bring the second pasuk? And if you want to say that there's no re'aya from the second pasuk, why bring it at all?
Is that what he's saying there? What he's saying?
We need Atzkol help. What does Rabbi Atzkol say? Zev, step it up.
I gotta get that.
Yeah.
Somebody step it up.
I was eating.
We're live. I'm gonna be famous. You're gonna ruin me.
Yeah, it's HaGadol. 6.
No.
Forget over here.
No, you're the boy. You're the man. What does it matter?
I'm going with the beginning of
Just say the words.
Which part?
The parts I said. The last part. V'im tomat shelo yesh re'aya me'apasuk im ken minayin lo.
How does
Yeah.
he
If
know?
not
And,
from
it,
it.
and, and
How
if,
does he
you,
know that there's no rayah in the first pasuk? That's what he's saying.
if you suggest that the Haggadah does not cite proof because it does not have proof from any other verse, if so, from where does it know that Yaakov was indeed forced to descend by the decree of Hashem?
If you want to say that you can't learn from the first pasuk,
Right, then,
Then what? How do we know that Yaakov was forced to come down to Mitzrayim?
right.
well, what do you mean? But then you could say that's why I brought the second pasuk.
There was a famine.
But if you're saying Anuz Al Pi HaDibur, then the second pasuk.
Just read the actual parts of the last words. The last V'im tomar. Read from the English on that. V'im tomar shelo yesh re'aya me'apasuk im ken minayin lo.
No, he's asking, why did he bring the
Yeah.
second pasuk? He's saying, how come we don't learn it from the
For the
first
first pasuk, good.
He's saying, if you want to say that you can't.
There's no
learn it
re'aya from the first
from the
pasuk.
How does he know that? Now he's
Oh, so why bring that pasuk in the first place?
What?
Here, there's a note down here. So when it says Vayard Mitzrayma, that he went down to Egypt, Anus Al Pi HaDibur, so there's a note here. For example, in the second clause of Zera Shimshon's citation, the Haggadah
Don't say
derives...
citation. Don't read it like a contract.
Okay.
It's just to help you say what you want to
Because
say.
in the second example, so
Good.
the Haggadah says that Yaakov did not intend to settle in Mitzrayim permanently from the verse, and he sojourned there,
Pasuk.
right? Vayagar,
Pasuk.
from the pasuk. Sorry, he didn't intend to settle in Egypt in Mitzrayim permanently because it says Vayagar Sham, right? And it proves it from another verse. Why is it not
Pasuk.
from another pasuk? You have to read English. Everything.
But use it to say what you want to say. Don't say what it says. Use it to help you
Okay.
say what you want to say.
If you're saying pasuk, it's to say what
Okay.
you want.
So the
Who's on first?
who's on second?
Right.
Third base. Okay.
All right, come on.
Okay, so we proved that Yaakov didn't plan to be in Mitzrayim permanently from the pasuk Vayagor Sham, and he proves it from another pasuk. Why doesn't it offer proof to the idea that Yaakov's going down to Egypt was forced by Hashem?
It's very synonymous.
Going down to Egypt was forced by Hashem?
Yeah, like why doesn't it offer another proof?
How could it not be? There was a famine in the land.
Read the upstairs part.
Okay, that helps us.
So read from Ve'im Tomar. I need the English on Ve'im Tomar.
Okay.
Anything you want to say?
And if you suggest that the Haggadah does not cite proof because it does not have proof from any other pasuk,
Okay.
if so, from where does it know that
Thank
Yaakov
you
was
very
indeed
much. Was that so
forced
difficult?
to go
Thank
down?
you. So easy. If you're gonna say that you cannot prove from the first pasuk, then what? Then how do you know that that he didn't plan on living there forever? That's what you're saying. How do you know he didn't sign a long-term lease, a renewable, right? Or what's it called? The auto renew. How do you know? Beautiful. Baruch Hashem. It's good. Then all right, let's go look at the answer. You don't need this pasuk, and there's the ayah to know that Yaakov Avinu went down part time or short term. Why? Because Vayelech Mitzrayim Anus Api Adibud, right? Nafkal la mi Vayago Sham. You learn from the words Vayago Sham Lamed Shelo Yarad Leishtakeh, right? You learn that he didn't move, he didn't go there to live there forever. Shenemar Vayomru El Paro Lagur. Mishum Damni, like it says in the Midrash on the pasuk Vayosef Hurad Mitzrayim, like your pasuk says Vayosef went down to Mitzrayim. Mashal the para. Oh, I know what it's saying. Okay, this is crazy.
Nice.
Okay, no, it's not. It's like it's beautiful.
It's good
but
that
you have to realize that the Torah is real and it ain't always rosy and it's rough.
That's life.
That's life. Exactly. The high by him, live by it. So listen, what's it saying?
But smile by it also.
Okay, that's part of life.
Towards Chaim.
That's part of life. You have a choice. You could complain about what happens to you in life,
No one's listening.
or you could be. One thing I learned when I learned that you're not gonna melt. Let's say you got bills, you got stuff, you got things you gotta pay. You ain't gonna melt. It's not game over. It's a tough time, it's a disaster, and I don't feel good. Until today, if I have it, I don't feel good. Okay? Look, January, February, every year is the slow season of my business, and every year I mope around like a sad puppy. And every year, my wife tells me the same thing. Why are you like this? You know it happens every year. Why? Why me? Why? Every year the same thing. This year was no exception. But what do you want from me? I'm a human. Okay.
You made it to the dollar. You made the payment to the dollar.
To the dollar.
To the dollar.
To the dollar. No, that wasn't a joke. To the dollar.
Amazing.
It's Shtabash Shemulad. By the way, it's once. Maybe we won't say it this week. We'll say it next week because we have two people.
That's if
watching
you're not
us.
canceled before then.
So maybe next week.
wait
we'll
till
have
Next
more
week,
people.
Next
we're
week's
doing
Pesach.
Next week's
Motzei
Pesach. We're still on Pesach.
Chol Moed,
That was-
Motzei Chag.
What, Thursday night?
Oh, Thursday night is Chol Moed.
It's the first night of Chol Moed. Motzei
But
Chag.
Taneh Dev says that Chol Moed was only created so you could learn Torah.
Wow.
I meet your wife.
What?
I met my wife for the first night of Chalamoy. It's the same.
Good. Actually, yeah, there's different
I met my wife in
halachot.
Boom.
I met my wife in July.
Amazing.
Okay, right, let's go, boys. Come on. Let's go. So, okay. So it seems that what you have the Midrash. Look at what the Midrash says. Yosef Hurad Mitzrayim. It says it gives an example of a pod of a cow that's on its way to get shechted and it doesn't want to go. So what do they do? They take the calf, the baby of the pod, and they
Pull it in front of
Lead
them.
it. They lead it.
And no, they don't eat it. They pull it.
Lead. With
They
it.
lead to the front.
They lead the mother.
That's horrible.
What is wrong with you people?
I'm just. It's what we heard. It's
It's like
what
a donkey
we
and a
received.
carrot.
Yeah, they lead it to the bet the shahita, and then they shach the cow. So same thing with Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu never would have went to Mitzrayim. Yaakov Avinu never would have went to
Right,
Mitzrayim.
Yosef went
What they
down.
do? They took the calf. Hashem, Borei Olam took the calf Yosef and set them down first. And then after 22 years,
wow.
after 22 years, finds out that Yosef is there. What does he do? He leaves him. He goes. Otherwise, Yaakov never would have went. He would have stayed there. He would have stayed in Israel. We don't. We think Yaakov cares about money that much that he would leave Israel. Rabbi Shlomo Amar. Every time he leaves Israel, he leaves sometimes for a week at a time to be mekareh people all over the world. Okay. He fasts.
And to speak at SCPC.
You what?
And to speak at SCPC, I mean.
Yeah,
SCP,
sure,
Smicha Chaver
right,
program.
yeah,
Big
sure.
stuff. After Pesach, everybody. SCP, Smicha Chaver program.
You know how many years?
Avram Khan, if there's a famine, I go. Yitzchak did the same thing, but Yaakov didn't. It was the brothers who called him up and said, "Here's what we got to do."
Hashem told Yitzhak, "Do not go." But you're right. But he did want to. But Yaakov did not want to go. That's why he had to lead. That's why Yosef had to be led.
Right.
He had to lead him with Yosef. It was crazy.
You know how many
Suck.
people make Aliyah because their children are here?
Ah,
Unbelievable amount.
wow, that's a great one.
If you include,
Yeah, this week's
That's a good one.
This week's
I've been
Haftarah.
here all night. Thank you.
This week's Haftarah. Shabbat HaGadol. V'heshiv lev avot banim v'lev banim al avotam. That the parents teach us Torah and we bring them to Eretz Yisrael.
It was like I heard when Rabbi Eli Michel was saying in the Shoftim, he was saying that Gidon, right, was Gidon the son of somebody, and he did he was the son of somebody. Gidon did tshuva.
Gidon did teshuvah, yeah.
And he broke the Baal.
He was
idols.
like Avraham Avinu breaking
Right?
the
And all the people come to the father and say, "Hey, look what your kid did." And the guy why are you complaining to me? If Baal was, God, he
Right, he
would
would take
defend
care of it.
himself.
He would take care of it.
And then the father did
Well,
tshuva.
Abraham did the same thing.
And then, but Avram's father didn't do tshuva.
Not true.
Dan.
Oh, bombshell! Not true. Because it says the pasuk that Abraham is going to join his father and his his forefathers in Gan Eden.
Nice.
It teaches that Terach made teshuvah. That's one of the reasons why he had
So
to
even
die.
better.
He died.
Even better. Even
Okay,
better. So
okay.
then Amram did
started the
tshuva.
journey.
Right? That was Avram.
Terach started the journey.
I hate that word journey. I hate that word.
Travels.
But it's not. But I only hate it. I'll tell you why. It's not that because it's not wrong. But just because we get it or we
Gidon's
use it
father.
from.
Yeah.
Right? You heard that?
Everyone's
Yeah.
like
And he did tshuva.
Whatever. It's very that
But the
tight.
father.
Very whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
And then
But there is a mitzvah to take something like that and use it for kiddusha.
Right.
So maybe I'm wrong. Go ahead.
And Mosai.
it was very beautiful. It was a very
These are the
beautiful point.
journeys.
Oh, Masaot. Right.
Since we're live, I'm gonna do the plug. It's a very beautiful point that
We're
Rabbi
not
Michel.
charging.
What?
We're not charging.
Oh, look at all
Do
these
people
thumbs
know
up
that
there.
500 people are watching or no?
No, 500,000. That's what the number
No,
is.
it's not 500. It's
Low
500.
numbers,
Can't
man.
include the future yet.
No numbers, right?
We
You
just
said,
started.
you made a beautiful point.
500,
You see
not
this
500,000.
happening over and over again. Okay,
You get
You-
nervous.
if a father tells your child not to keep Shabbos,
You don't listen.
You don't listen, right? But what we see over and over again happening in the shul here is you come for Shabbos, and your kid is a particular way, and then you come to the shul that they daven, and then all of a sudden the parents are like, "Oh, this is really nice," and then the parents are like getting more like open and turned on.
So,
to
by
it.
the way, that's my secret. When I sit with kids that have these type of questions or whatever, I try to divert them and say, "Look, could you help me? I want to learn something. I have a class I have to give soon. I need to be my soundboard."
Right.
One time it happened. I learned with the guy for 2 hours. 2 hours. No, not you. 2 hours. You understand? 2 hours. Why? Because the Neshama knows what it wants. You read Derech Hashem. By the way, you read Derech Hashem, you'll understand that the Neshama is so powerful it can be metaken the goof like that. But Hashem Dafka contracts it on purpose just to make it so you're like at 0.01% of what your Neshama is. Why? Just so it could fight the goof. To show you what your potential truly is. It's mind-boggling. All right, let's go. Vaita. So now, now what do we say? We said, we teach you that Yaakov Avinu, when he went to settle. He didn't go to live there forever. Okay? So how do we know? We know because we bring a pasuk. The question is, the Zera Shimshon, why don't you bring the first pasuk? What do you bring the second pasuk? Right? So the Yefat Torah comes and says, then we bring the Midrash about Yosef, about, because Because it connects it to Vayered Mitzrayim, no?
Yes, he says that the Magid was trying to tell you that Nachman in the Agor Sham, Right? And he
Oh,
says-
Vayered Mitzrayim, because the cow that doesn't want to get shechted gets led.
Right.
So too Yaakov Avinu got led by Hakadosh Baruch Hu, which is fine.
By his
By
son
Yosef.
By Yosef,
Well,
by
that's
Yosef
right.
being in Mitzrayim, king of Mitzrayim. But now the Yefet Torah comes up with a great question. He says, "Why are you doing all these things? How do you know it wasn't just happened to be?" The Dilma Maaseh She'aya Kachaya. What do you mean? The brothers sold Yosef. Just hello. That's how we ended up in Mitzrayim. Nothing to do. Cow, no cow. Shakti, no Shakti. Don't matter. How do you know? What are you talking about? There's no proof. You're assuming. Yefet Torah says, the Dilma Maaseh She'aya Kachaya. שבשביל שאחד מכרו ליוסף בחטא ועוון שלא מדעת ורצון הקדוש ברוך הוא. Maybe nothing to do with the רצון of הקדוש ברוך הוא. ומשום הכי נולד דרך מקרה וילך יעקב מצרים. And that's why, you know, there's nothing to do with Yosef. There's nothing to do with Yosef. משום הכי נולד, right? create דרך מקרה ודרך מקרה.
He's saying is that the Midrash is making it a nice story to say that because Yosef was down there, so there's a nice story. We'll give it we'll give it a nice.
Mitzvah Babel Avera.
Right, no,
It couldn't possibly be that God would plan Mitzvah Babel Avera.
Right, so he's basically saying the Midrash. We'll give it a nice story. We'll say, well, the calf was there, and so we'll bring in a nice thing. But doesn't make sense. What about the real story? The real story of the Psukim is that they sold the story. They sold Yosef, and
What are you talking about? Sold the kid, he went to Mitzrayim, they find 20. What do you mean? It has to be that Hashem said. Who's to say?
Right.
That's what Yefet Torah said.
Meaning that it wasn't necessarily predestination, it was the choices of people.
Right.
And particularly the negative choices, how we would judge them,
Right.
of people.
So listen to what Zera Shimshon says. And because of this, because of this doubt that you might have, that's what the Magid of the what's it called says. Vayeri Yisrael anus api adibur. V'im tomar hakol hayad derech mikre. Now, if you want to say that everything happened derech mikre, and how do you know that he's anus, that he was supposed to go down to what's it called? That's why he brings the pasuk vayagor sham. Why vayagor sham? The pasuk vayagor sham to teach you shelo yarad Yaakov Avinu lishtakea. He did not come. He did not go to Egypt in order to plant himself and to live there. Right? And if everything was just happened to be, then he would have came back. Right? We would have came back.
Would have went, got food, and came back.
Right, he would have got right. Exactly.
Why did he stay there?
Why did he
Exactly, that's the point. That's what he's trying to say. Why did he actually stay
They
there?
couldn't. The whole thing that Yosef had planned was that they had to sell it as like a multi-year deal. They couldn't just come in and come out.
Who said?
That's the whole deal they made with Yosef. Yosef said we have to play.
Who's
this.
they?
Yosef says to his brothers.
But after everyone knows who each other is,
Yeah.
if Yaakov comes, there's no more games.
Right.
Yaakov could say, "I love you, son. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, he
Give me
can
my
go
$10
along
million
with
and I'm out of here."
We could have got
He
that.
couldn't do that.
Without his kids?
Yeah.
No, bring me the
With the
kids.
kids.
I'll take everybody.
Yeah, but they're already on the hook. They made this whole deal with Paro.
Who
They had to
cares?
come
What
with-
What it don't matter. It doesn't
If
matter.
your kid is the
And
viceroy
when-
of
when
Egypt, you're not
Yaakov-
going to leave Egypt.
No,
Who
but
said?
Who said?
What
it?
do you mean? If you go
You're
someplace,
going to tell me that Yaakov Avinu cares more. By the way, I didn't even finish. I did, but Rav Shlomo Amar would fast all week. No one's leaving Israel unless they have to. The Gedulim do not leave Israel. The Pittsburgh Rabbi Alav Shalom would tell me in Borough Park when he's collecting and dealing and people are coming. By the way, big guys are coming to him. Big guys.
The thing
He
that's
comes to
amazing-
me and tells me, he goes, Shaul, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'll tell you myself, when I learn in the States, when I go to work for the week or whatever I go for, I'm mumbling the words in the Gemara compared to what I'm learning here. There's no question that the Kedusha is so much stronger. You cannot tell me the Yaakov Avinu who knows that physicality is nothing, that he would stay in Egypt forever.
I will.
You
say
can't tell me that.
I can't. I won't tell you that. But I will tell you
Say
this.
it.
The thing about the Avot,
Troublemaker.
the thing about the Avot is they were human beings.
Everybody was. Everybody
Okay,
is. What does that have to
great.
do? What does that have to do? They put their pants one leg at a time. Very nice. And then what?
If you go down to Egypt and your kid is running the show, you're gonna want to.
So you're telling me
you're gonna want to stay next to your
So
kid.
1 second, let me speak. Let me say something.
please.
You're
That's the
telling
point.
me very nice.
That's the point.
You're telling me that the Gedulim would withhold kedusha just so they could be next to their kid. No, it can't be. I'm telling you. You have so many cases
I
way
am not
later
saying
that will not
yes.
agree with you.
I'm not saying yes.
So I'm telling
saying
you,
it's possible.
Yaakov
They wanna
Avinu
be
is
next
not.
to
Me,
the
it's
kids.
possible, very much
They
so.
want to be with their kid. Who doesn't want to be with their kid?
But that's what
He's
he
missing
said.
for 22
my,
years.
My kid, I took my kid out for dinner, and she told me, she goes, listen, would you move to Renana? Because all the Syrians are in Renana.
God.
So I told her, I go, no. I go, at the beginning, I was very nervous about living in a farm. When I came here, I didn't know what was going on. But after I figured it out, that whatever, and I go, I would never leave.
You like it
But
better?
nice. She goes, what happens if we get older?
Yeah,
we
you have
get
your
married?"
brother-in-law here then.
Yeah, but all my friends are in Renana.
So,
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
family was friends and stuff.
Well, there's a lot
But
of
anyway,
Chalabis in
listen.
Jerusalem also.
What?
There's a lot of Chalabis in Jerusalem.
Yeah. But the Syrians from Brooklyn, which we know and we're friends with, we're close with, all live in Renana. And now my daughter asked me, but if we move and we decide to live in Renana, would you follow? I go, yeah, for sure. Hands down. Not question. But Yaakov Avinu ain't doing that. I'm telling you reality. Yaakov Avinu is not going to leave Israel for his children.
Just saying. I'm not telling you this is my opinion. I'm saying human beings want to be with the kids.
Agreed.
The
But
kid-
why do they call it Gadol? Because Ezu Hagibor Hagofesh et Yitzro. They're able to overcome the yetzer of wanting to be physical, to have that physical connection. They don't ask you when you go in Shemayim, were you close with your kids? They ask
22
you.
years, 22 years separation from your most
Agreed.
beloved
I'm not
child.
disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I guarantee you that if Yaakov knew that there was no nevuah about Berim Berim about Mitzrayim and Shebut, he would have gone back. It's a 3-day trip, by the way. It's a 3-day
All the
trip.
chiyutim, he had 17 years. I'm
It's a-
Alim.
I understood, but it's a 3-day trip. It ain't that far. It's a 3-day trip. It would have
Pretty
been
far
fine.
then.
But the Torah says,
No.
the Torah says,
What
"Vayechi
about-
Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim," and he
Because-
lived there
very nice.
17 years, and
All
they
right,
say that was
listen.
Ikar HaChaim Shelo.
I'm telling you fact. The Yaakov Avinu, okay, if it wasn't because of the galut of Mitzrayim, he would have went back. Take it, do with that what you will.
Meaning it was predestined.
By the way, what do you do? You Ashkenazim, God bless you guys. You love your kids get married. Okay, where are they gonna live? They're gonna go out there, live all different places. This is a you thing. I'm telling you, Yaakov Avinu never would do it. We would go back to Israel. It's even a you concept that the children should not live next to the parents.
Yaakov was Sfardi, obviously.
Huh?
Once you make it here, where else you go?
Not, but even the people that live in Efrat do not assume that their children are living in Efrat. Me, I want to buy the houses next to me so my children can live right next door to me.
We never used to have our shul, but now we do. So I don't see
What are
any.
you talking about? There's plenty of Ashkenaz people in the world that have their shuls.
No.
Plenty of people.
Our shul is very special.
Listen, I got 500 people watching me. Half of them Ashkenaz. I don't get angry emails.
Ashkenaz, Sfarad, whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying. Once you have the MS of what's being happening here, there's no place else to go.
Yaakov Avinu did that too. Great. And he would not have left Israel unless he had to. You answered my question for me. Thank you very much.
I was playing devil's advocate.
You're amazing. Okay.
Edit.
Very good. Okay. So again, this is why the Magitza Vayir Mislam Anus Abiyad Dibur Ve'im Tomar Hakol Haya Derech Mikre. If you want to say that everything happened, haphazardly. Uminayin Lanu Shaya Anus Abiyad Dibur. How do you know that he was forced to Abiyad Dibur? That's why he connects to the Pasuk Vayagol Sham. Right? מלמד שלא ירד יעקב אבינו להשתקע ואם הכל היה דרך מקרה היה לא לחזור, he went back to Israel ולמה להשתקע? But why would he stay there? אלא ודאי שהכל היה מרצון הקדוש ברוך הוא שיבוא למצרים בדרך זו. It's exactly what Hashem wanted. Hashem wanted him to stay in Egypt and that's why he stayed in Egypt. That's what he's trying to say. Huh? What?
What?
I didn't hear you. Share with the 500. Can we change it to Zera Shimshon to 500? It could be like a name, like Prada.
Yeah, if you want to get more
No
than that,
website, no address, no
It's like-
nothing. Figure it out on
So
your
the
own.
Israeli stores, they will like name themselves after the year 2000. Now it's not so cool.
I don't know.
That was like in the 90s or something.
Wait a second, so
Or like Bush, they named all their stores Bush. And then Bush like irrelevant.
Different reason. Look, they sold them. The way, very important. Very important. By the way, very important to differentiate between the Gezerah and the Keli.
Right, well,
Me.
that's my question. Like, how
Exactly.
do you separate the two?
You have to separate the two. The gezerah is whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Right? Taharish taharishun, right? Mordechai tells us that if you stay quiet, then everyone's going to forget who you are. It's going to happen somewhere else.
The Kli is predestined also.
The Keli is through Teva of the world. The brothers hated Yosef. It's a good way to make it work. If it didn't work, then Hashem would have found a different way to get Yosef to Mitzrayim, and this whole thing would have happened anyway.
Because
Because God's God.
Yosef being an Egyptian, a sophisticated Egyptian man, wasn't the vision that Yaakov had for his son, let's just say.
And what does that have to do with the Gezerah was
Meaning it's
that Yosef is going to end down.
It wasn't his own intention that made it happen. It happened in a roundabout